Good morning, good morning, good morning. I know you folks are not expecting to see me this time of the morning, and also I'm not expecting to see y'all, so I won't be too pressed if you're not here at this hour. But I do expect that when you do get here, you hit the like button, you hit the comment button, you hit the subscribe button because, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Operation Hill with Charge channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot motherfucking topics. We also have our nosy motherfucking neighbors that come into the building. Hey, neighbors. Ladies and gentlemen, I am now. Hold on, something doesn't look right. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. I am now hitting upon the last leg of my birthday. Can you believe it? Today, well, yesterday, because exactly 12 was my birthday. So if you feeling like, you want me to be blessed, there's a cash app there. So make sure you drop me a little blessing. And if you can't do so, please make sure that you leave me a super chat. If you can't leave me a super chat, please make sure you hit the like button because that is your free way of supporting the channel and getting me out in the algorithm. And let's get to going. Okay. I know you're wondering why I'm here. I'm here because I want to keep my commitment. I want to keep my commitment. I want to do what I said I was going to do. So here we go, which is I want to tie up this whole WAGs to Riches series on Netflix. And we have been here grinning and skinning and thugging and whipping and everything else on these ladies throughout the season of this show. So now we have reached the grand finale. We have reached the grand finale. We are now at episode 8, which is the final episode, and it's called It Takes a Village. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And not necessarily because it was a quote unquote good series, but more so because it gave me the opportunity to be able to connect with y'all to pop my motherfucking shit about things that we are now seeing on TV and, some things that make it arise out of us. So let's get into this video and let's get into this review. Like I said, we are reviewing WAGs to Riches, episode number 8, and it's called It Takes a Village, which is the grand finale of the series. Make sure you go back and watch all of my videos 1 through 7 so you can catch up and know what's going on if you have not watched the series. Anywho, the episode starts off with Keita, and Keita's with mom. Mom is Miss Alicia, and they're preparing a meal. I do like this scene because you don't normally see Keita on the show. She's not in many of the episodes. She's actually one of the ladies that she has a lot going on. She's pregnant. She's a tech entrepreneur. Her man is like literally one of the top players on the Miami Dolphins. So you don't see her in many episodes because my girl is getting to the business. But anywho, she's here with mom and they're preparing a meal and they're discussing Keita's pregnancy. And this is Keita's first pregnancy. It's actually her first baby. So mom is giving her some mom advice. You know what moms do, aka shout out Miss P, love her to death, right? And she's saying to her, these are some of the things you might want to do. Like I know Keita said she wanted to breastfeed. And mom was like, they gas you up and tell you that's how you lose weight fast, that's how you bounce back quick. She was like, but you just be sitting up there with 2 balloons on your chest feeling like you're going to damn die. So, it is always good to keep a mom around from what I hear, especially when you're experiencing your first pregnancy, because they could basically guide you through the process. I pray my mom is around to be able to do so for me. So anywho, Keita is sharing with her that she's putting together a volleyball game for the girls in their family. She was like, because I haven't been able to spend a lot of time with them because I've been traveling with Tyreek, right? So mom asked her, she was like, well, how are you and Tyreek's relationship going? And Keita said it's going good, especially since we've been attending our pre and post marital counseling. Those sessions we're doing them on a regular basis because marriage is not easy, and we want to make sure that even if our marriage is not perfect, it's good, and we're doing things the way we need to do to be able to maintain it, right? So they also get into talking about, excuse me, the what it really looks like when you're dating and marrying an athlete, right? And Keita was like, basically their marriage started off rocky because according to Keita, I said this in another episode, how three new children were introduced to their relationship without Tariq's knowledge, right? So she was like, of course, when their marriage started off, it started off rocky because here everybody is in the headlines saying, oh, you're marrying a person that has 6, 7 kids, and here go another 3. Boom. So she was like, everybody was judging and talking their shit. She was like, so the marriage started off rocky from the beginning, right? And then Keita gets into that Tariq had an altercation with the police. Right. And, pretty much when they showed the footage, it was the police doing what I see the police do. And I see that it's not only in New York, but all over the world, which I already knew, which is, the bullying, the disrespecting, the harassing, the throwing him on the ground and not giving him the opportunity to speak, knee in chest, knee in back, hands around neck, just all that crazy shit. Right. So mom is like, listen, whenever things go on with you and Tariq, even if it's not about his athlete, it's at his career as an athlete, but just you two as a whole. She was like, I make sure that I pray. I make sure that I pray. And she was like, I want you to stay steadfast in your prayer because you just never know. Like, you don't know what goes on. And she was like, God can continue to move mountains for you and your family if you stay steadfast in your prayer, right? And I love the fact that she basically shared that, I'm praying for you guys endlessly. It doesn't stop. I always make sure I do what I need to do and say my prayers for y'all because I want you guys to be okay. And I can see mom feeling that way because that's a baby girl and that's her baby girl's first baby, her first real big relationship, her first marriage, So I know Tariq, I don't know if he was ever married before this, but I also know that he has other children before this. So mom may feel like even though he's experiencing that field, that's him. But you, my baby girl, and I want to have your back, so I'm watching over and I'm praying for you. And mom just said a lot of prolific things that got me to thinking. She said to her, whenever you're going through stuff, I want you to drop down on your knees and pray. No matter what it is, how deep it is, wherever it is, how big it is, I want you to, in the moment, drop down on your knees and pray. She said, because one thing about when you drop down on your knees and you pray and you give it to God, God will move mountains for you. And I'm a firm believer, if nothing else, in that. God has moved mountains for me. So I definitely believe he can do it for anybody. So I was with mom when she said that. And it was also very heartfelt because I imagine my own mom telling me the same thing when I'm pregnant and I'm married and so on and so forth. Even though my mom already shared some of these things with me, but having that extra layer of support when I'm in such a intense and serious situation. So I love mom for that. I love Miss Alicia, right? Anywho, moving forward. In the next scene, you see Alexis going to visit Jonathan, right? So remember, she's dating Jonathan. This is her new, that this is who she's dating at the moment publicly, right? And I mean, it's nothing serious. They just dating, right? But she's going over to his house and she's going to cook for him. Alexis, Alexis, my personal opinion is Jonathan hit it that night. But anywho, right? There's definitely an underlying and undenying chemistry between Alexis and Jonathan. And I like that. I think they make a cute couple, right? But Alexis said, the last time she seen him, that Jonathan smelled really good. And she was like, because of that, she bought him a candle. Now, Alexis, I did. I'm not gonna lie, I found that kind of odd because I was thinking to myself, if he smelled good the last time you seen him, why didn't you buy him any cologne? But I get it. You're also going into his home. So I guess you felt like, well, listen, I don't know you well enough to know what fragrances you like. So instead of me buying you a cologne, I'll get you a candle because I'm going into your home space. You'll be able to light it while I'm here with you. So that was smart, right? The conversation started flowing. They like each other. Alexis is preparing a meal, right? And she asked him, she was like, do you normally entertain guests in your home? And he was like, well, no, not really. This is kind of really a first for me. And she was like, well, let me ask, what were some of your non-negotiables in dating, right? And you know what I love? Soon as Jonathan responded, he opened up with in full transparency. And I love that he said that. Because a lot of times in relationships, that's what's the issue. There's no full transparency. There's always the beat around the bush. I'm gonna say what you need, what you want to hear, because I'm just meeting you. I want you to like me. I want you to look at me a particular way. Jonathan was like, in full transparency, my issue was I didn't want to date women with children, right? And she was like, no, no, I understand and I get it because remember, Jonathan doesn't have any children of his own, right? And he was like, one, that was because there will always be somebody that's before him because you have children, of course. He was like, and then also I heard that, when it comes down to women and their baby fathers always have the opportunity to come back and hit it no matter who they with, no matter how much they love somebody else, right? And I totally was with Jonathan because I've heard the same thing about guys and their baby mothers. I heard that, they always go back and dip in the pond and so on and so forth, right? So I got why Jonathan thought that. And especially being a person with no children, I could definitely see why Jonathan thought that. Do I still feel that way? No, I don't feel that way about the person I'm currently in a relationship with, but I won't say I don't feel that way as a whole. I don't know how I would feel if me and the person I'm in a relationship with now broke up and I dated somebody else with children. I may go back to that level of thinking because again, it's more possible than not, right? So Alexis was like, my dear, let me burst your motherfucking bubble. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's not my situation. She was like, in any event, me and my ex have not been intimate since we decided to divorce. And she was like, that has to be at least over 6.5 years ago. She was like, we made that decision and we moved forward with it. So it's not the whole dip back in the pond and we not sure it's not what we want to do. And sometimes I might go back. She said, no, 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 no. That's not what it's here for, right? But in her confessional, Alexis began to share the stigma surrounding divorce in Black communities. And she was saying, oftentimes people think that there's supposed to be this intense level of drama. She's like, no, that's not the case in her divorce and her family situation. She was like, me and Amari still have our religion, our spirituality, the goals we set for our family, and so on and so forth. She did also say that divorce for her does equate to death. She was like, but in a sense that really means that chapter has closed, and because of that she has to move forward, right? And she shared that how Jonathan is like a good potential candidate, and how he checks off all the boxes and she really likes him. And like I said before, Alexis, you gave me, Jonathan hit it that night, but we'll see, right? Anywho, what also happened was Alexis, they did a flashback moment, right? And they show Alexis with the family. I thought it was so nice. You got to see who was Alexis' kids, if she had children before Amari, what she did. And they was also having what's called a Shabbat dinner, right? So what I read up is that that's a festival meal eaten on Friday night by Jewish families and friends to mark the start of the Jewish Sabbath, right? And then they invited Portia, right? That was so nice. She was there enjoying some Shabbat with them, and it was Amari. He was leading it. All their children was there, right? And the fun fact about Amari is Amari Stoudemire, he is Jewish. He converted to Judaism in 2020 after receiving the Israeli citizenship in 2019. He also adopted the name Yahashafat ben Abraham. So wow, that was something that I looked up and I seen about Amari. I was like, that's what's up. I didn't know. You can honestly see that he had converted into some different religion, but I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't sure. So I went and looked it up, and that's what I found out, right? In any event, in the next scene, the girls and their family, they all get together because remember, Keita was having a volleyball game, right? Everybody was there. Mhm. Of course, but Stony. Right. So okay. Alexis checked in with MJ because MJ was there, and she was giving Alexis the very blanketed answers, right? And one thing I love about Alexis, she basically was just checking in on MJ's mental health. She was like, "Listen, last time I seen you, you said." Excuse me, guys. Kodak Black was teed up. He was doing X, Y, and Z. So I just want to see, how you doing, right? And like I said, MJ was giving those very blanketed statements, right? And when it got to confessional, you could see that things had changed, right? MJ was like, listen, Yak gonna do what Yak do. Yak is Kodak Black. I'm gonna do what I do. And it seems as though that's our situation. And I mean, if you read the headlines, you can obviously see that Kodak Black is turned up, and so is MJ and the rest of the baby mothers. What I will say about that is I'm not really disappointed in MJ or Kodak Black because they're young. They're young. They're young people with money and obstacles, right? And that's the way things work when you 23, 25, 28, with a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of doors open up for you that you didn't even have to knock on, right? So they're going to have to try to find a way to navigate, what that looks like. And if they want to be together, the only thing that I do hate about these young people is that they make a lot of willy-nilly decisions. I'm not mad if you're beefing and popping shit and having issues in your relationship and they go public and they show you busting your man on the head. And we don't condone violence on this page, but hey, things happen sometimes, right? What I'm not a fan of is a whole bunch of children and illegitimate marriages coming out of those situations, knowing that you don't even know, who you really are, and you stepping into something so serious. I don't know about anybody else, but I take marriage seriously. If I'm standing in front of people and I'm promising God that I'm going to treat you a certain way, and then one thing go wrong, my promise go out the window that I made to God. I don't know. That just seems a little crazy to me. But I do understand that they are young. They are young, and I've been around many people who build families young. So I do understand that it comes to trials and tribulations while you're trying to figure it all out. My prayer is that if she's with Kodak Black or not, it's not my business. I pray because I genuinely from the show like MJ. So I hope and pray that as a woman, she just gets it together. And she did say that in her confessional. She like, listen, 5, 10 years from now, I'm going to be the woman that I'm meant to be. And basically what she said was like, I hope Kodak catch the fuck up. I hope Kodak catch the fuck up, because if not, he'll be left the fuck behind. And whether she means it or not, don't even matter to me. The fact that she could say it made me look at her like, yeah, I love MJ. And I loved her from episode 1. So anywho, the volleyball game begins, and Portia and Keita are pregnant. So in my mind, I'm thinking like they're gonna sit this one out and be cheering from the sidelines. Oh no, baby. Keita was Keita was full-fledged in the motherfucking game, okay? And Sherelle kept saying, Keita, you're pregnant. Keita, watch out. Keita, move forward. Keita was not playing. Keita was like, bitch, I don't give a fuck who I am. Right now, I'm on this court and I am a fucking Ocho Cinco. She was not playing that volley game. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, Lord, Keita crazy. But I did hear, even when I watched Sex in the City, I saw the guy tell, I don't remember which one of those ladies' name, which one of the ladies' names it was, but they said that if you're an athletic person naturally, when you get pregnant, you should continue to be athletic. Of course, it comes with restrictions because you are carrying a child, but you can continue to do so because that's normally who you really are. So I was like, okay, I get why Keita wanted to, still continue with that, right? Portia was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm way more weeks than Keita. They knocking and bopping Keita. She hitting the ground. She falling on the floor. I'm not taking no risk with my motherfucking baby, so I'm gonna sit this one out, right? So anyway, Jules showed up. Let me take a sip of my drink. It's still my birthday, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit the thumbs up on this video if you are new here. If you want to slide me a cash app or a super chat, the cash app is there on the screen. Healing Heart 70114. You can leave a super chat in the comments. Please make sure you do not forget the like button, even if you can't do either one of the others. Jules showed up. Jules, I want to say this, right? Prior to this very last episode, I was continuously giving you the benefit of the doubt. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. I was saying, y'all might be being a little too harsh on Jules. Y'all got to chill. But this episode honestly let me know what the ladies meant about you, right? So, Jules, you show up with Ryan Garcia, right? Now, Ryan Garcia was expelled not too long ago from the WBC for making some racial slurs against Black people and some disparaging comments against Muslims, right? Now, Jules, this is something that you've done in a moment, right? Blatantly, that would suggest you pull stunts and antics in regards to the Black community. Because if you already know, right, that you're going to an event that most of the people predominantly are going to be Black people, right? This is Keita and Tariq's event. Now, even if you don't know what Keita's nationality is, you can look at Tariq, you can look at the women of the other men that's going to be there. You can look at Philip, you can look at Ocho Cinco. They're Blackly Black, right? They are Blackly Black. So to bring a person who has made racist comments in the past to this event, it suggests that once again, like you pulling stunts and you pulling antics. You pulling stunts and you pulling antics. And throughout the entire season, I cannot lie, that's what the ladies have been saying about you. That's what they have been saying about you, that you pull stunts and you pull antics and then you stand back and act like you don't know what you're doing wrong. You know exactly what you were doing wrong. This was the wrong person to bring at the wrong time. You played your fucking self, Jules. And now I see what they mean and you get no more benefit of the doubt. But anywho, the Mean Girl trio was looking like absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is what I mean about this bitch, and absolutely not. And even Alexis, she's not a part of the Mean Girl trio, but she did call it out. She called a spade a spade. She was like, Jules, this is what we mean about playing in our face. This is exactly what we mean when we say you're playing in our face. Because even if you were going to come to this event, and even if you were going to bring a guest, you just sat at that brunch or luncheon or whatever that thing you had with the influencers last episode with when you invited Sade. You could have brought any one of those ladies. Why would you bring this controversial gentleman to? Why would you bring this controversial gentleman with you? And again, when you get called out on your bullshit, you start looking like, but wait, what did I do? This is what you did. So I have to say, by the end of the season, Jules, the other women have wooed me. They have won. They have got me on their side. You played your fucking self, right? So all ladies decided to huddle, right? And they went by the water. They was all by the water and dipping and getting their kids dipped in the water, and then they decided to huddle up. And Sade had made her big announcement. Woo! I love Sade. She's one of my favorite on the show. She announced she's pregnant. She was like, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I didn't want to say anything. I wanted to get through my first trimester. But ladies and gentlemen, here we are. I am 16 weeks pregnant. So all the ladies were excited. It was such a beautiful moment. And she was just saying, like, I'm sorry if I came across like a liar because I didn't share this with you guys. She was like, but I just was trying to protect my peace for that first trimester because I'm really excited about being pregnant, having a baby with Chosen because they're in love. They're in love. So it was a beautiful thing. And she was like, I hope and pray that I have all you guys as aunties to lean on because this is my first child. I'm going to need a lot of advice. I'm going to need a lot of input. And I'm going to lean on you guys. And they all were ecstatic. Like, no. You can call on us. You can lean on us. And we are very happy for you. And that was a nice moment. That was a nice moment. I really wish that Stoney would have gotten to share in that moment. But I guess, right? So in the last scene, all of this cast pull up to Casa Neos, right? And I want to say this, and it's crazy because Stoney actually said it as well throughout the episode. Ashley and Phil, absolutely. Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We are here for Ashley and Phil. They just look good. They look like a very sexy, youthful, classy. They look good as a unit. I love the way Ashley and Phil, right? So anyway, as they enter into space, because this place is called, like I said, Casa Neos, and would you believe Nut as Eliza was there? This is Future Baby's mother. She's on Love and Hip Hop Miami. But Eliza Crazy Behind was at this event, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was a real estate event, right? That Sherelle was putting on. And I think I've heard on Love and Hip Hop Miami, Eliza say that she's into real estate, but her crazy ass was there. No, she wasn't on camera. She wasn't mic'd up or anything. You could just see her in the background. And because, of course, I watched Love and Hip Hop Miami, I know who she was, right? So like I said, it was a real estate event. And I think it was in the Law Realty event. So it was really actually Sherelle's real estate agency was hosting this event, right? And I saw Aunt Sophie. Oh my God, Aunt Sophie was from Sherelle's other reality show. I want to say it was called Selling Tampa, right? And she was one of my favorite girls on the show. Black, beautiful, elegant, classy, and trying to sell them homes to get that money. So you saw her there. So I'm like, wow, I believe she probably still works for Allure Realty. So that's what's up, probably just more in the Tampa area where this show is more stationed with for their Miami location, right? Um, and then Sherelle was arriving on a boat. So everybody was already there and they was waiting on her, like, where's Sherelle? Where's Sherelle? She was coming on a boat and she was coming with she had one of the real estate agents which was Matthew. I don't know if he works for a law, but she said he was an agent on the boat with her. And then she had another gentleman named Matthew and Lewis, and they were investors. So what it looked like was that she took one of her agents, Matthew, on a boat with her so they could have some conversation with the investors, Matthew and Lewis, about, a law and so on and so forth. The only thing that I see Sherelle always does, and again, this could be a Miami thing, I don't know. This could be a real estate thing, I don't know. She just dresses very provocative when she goes to meet investors. Again, I get the whole, sex sells and so on and so forth. I just would like to see, and once again, this could be just because it's in Miami. I don't know. It could be just because it's a reality show. I don't know. But I would like to see her in more business attire when she goes to meet the investors, as opposed to party dresses and cleavages out and thighs out and boobs out. And I don't know, something about it I'm just not too fond of, but I get it, right? But what I'm thinking it looks like here is the goal is to intertwine luxury, real estate, athletes, and entertainment, right? Which is why most of Sherelle's events consist of agents, investors, athletes, and folks involved in entertainment. So that makes sense, right? That's what they were talking about on the boat as they pulling up. Sherelle arrives, she get off the boat with the investors and the agent. They get their champagne. They all walking inside. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, Sherelle, we waiting on you. Look beautiful." You know how that whole thing's go. Philip was like, "Hey, is Ocho Cinco going to be here? Hey, is Ocho Cinco arriving? Hey, you know where Ocho at?" Because I guess Philip was feeling like, "Bitch, if I didn't know Ocho was not going to be here, then I wouldn't have either." But like I said, him and Ashley look so good together, right? So Stony is at this event, right? No, so what I noticed is that they must like pick and choose how many bad girls they could take and how many scenes they can create, because I noticed that when Stony is there, Jules is not there, and when Jules is not there, Stony is there. So I guess they just feel like, well, we deal with each bad girl on their own terms. I can't really call it, right? So what was interesting was that Stony was there and she brought her daughter with her, which is the daughter she shared with Rick Ross. I think you pronounce her name Toy. If I'm not mistaken, I think you pronounce her name Toy, and she's actually who was MJ's friend. But she was there, MJ was there, Stony was there. They was all in one huddle, like by the bar, right? So they knew who the party is going on, yada, yada, yada. And Stony said, like I said, what I said originally too. She was like, wow, Philip and Ashley look so good together. They look so beautiful. They match each other's swag, so on and so forth, right? Then she turns to MJ and Toy, but she's really directing this question to MJ. But either way, it doesn't matter because MJ is young enough to be your daughter. So I don't understand why you going this route, Stony. But Stony, I see you, girl. I see you. So anywho, she says to MJ, she was like, they look so good together. You think they swing? And see, MJ, I love MJ. MJ young, but I agree with Sherelle when she said this, right? MJ is young, right? And she's growing through some things, but MJ has potential. And what I love about MJ is when she grows into her full potential, she's going to be a force to reckon with. She's going to be a good, solid woman. I like MJ. And MJ ain't no motherfucking fool. When Sherelle said that, I mean, when Stoney said that, oh, you think they swing? You know, MJ said, I'm a little young. What that mean? AKA, bitch, don't try to ask me no questions about my boss and get me caught up. So can you rephrase? And I love that for MJ because she know not to say certain things and do certain things because again, she's one of Sherelle's agents. That's primarily why she's on the show. So you ain't gonna get me caught up, Stony, and saying no bullshit about my boss and now it's me and you against her. No, baby, this is your fight. You ain't dragging me into it. So I love MJ for being sharp enough to be like, mm-mm. You ain't gonna get me into that, right? So, and then they flash over to the Mean Girl crew, right? So, they're talking to Alexis and Sade, and they're all talking about how far along Sade and Portia are with their pregnancy, right? Um, and I think they said they're like weeks apart, like 2 or 3 weeks apart, right? But as they're talking, Sade says in her confessional, she was like, the judgment and the cliquish shit that goes on in this group is because they all feed each other egos. She said if they could just chill and be themselves, then, we could all be good, right? And I'll just add to that, Sade. This is what I want to say. The Mean Girl crew think they're above the rest, right? And because some of them women have low self-esteem and the ones that they're the ones that they think they're better than, they hold it on them, right? Like people like Stony and Drew. So I do agree that they feed the ones who think they're on top egos, such as Sherelle, Ashley, etc. But I also feel like those women The ones that they feel they're on top of and they know they can play with, they play in their face, which makes them the mean girl group. Because again, if you look at Alexis is not acting all glamorous. Alexis is not dressing all glamorous. Alexis is not talking all glamorous. She being her natural born self. But on top of her being herself, you could tell Alexis has confidence and she's sure of herself. So a lot of shit that they do to Stony and Jules, they don't do to her because they know they can't do to her. And that's the thing I don't like. Is like they are definitely, their self-esteem is definitely getting fed, which makes their head big. But I also think they take their big old bobbleheads and bop them on other people like Stony and Jules, because I know I can make you feel small. Where you have to show up like a woman like Alexis, which I feel like I'm one of those type of women where my confidence is unshakable. It's unshakable. I don't care who I'm in a motherfucking room with. I make jokes and I'm like, oh, I'm Beyonce, I'm Beyonce. But even if I was in the room with Beyonce, I'm still not gonna feel like she outshining me. We both women. Okay, girl, you sing, you dance, and you sing. That's not what I do. But I do have some attributes about myself that I contribute to the space that make me important, just as important as you. So you can't make me feel no way because you got no Grammys. You got that shit for the shit you do. And I got accolades for the shit that I do, which makes my confidence unshakable. But you got people like Tony, Stony, and Jules that fold underneath these bitches, and they know the bitches that fold underneath them, and knows the bitches that they play with. Because I'm gonna also tell you this: Portia is another one that folds low key underneath them, but she falls in line so quickly that they don't gotta hold it on her. That's what I see. Because even when she brought up, remember, let's flash back to like episode 1 or 2 when Portia brought up that she was going to go with Stony to look at her biscuit salad. And like, they made her feel bad about that salad. And she was trying to like say, like, well, I don't care. I'ma just see. And they was like, oh, you better check to see if she got the money. No, y'all was trying to make her feel like she made a poor choice by even listening to Stony about going to her biscuit salad to make that salad. Why was y'all doing that? Instead of being on some good luck, I hope it work out for you. But y'all knew that y'all could shake Portia up, and she almost got shooken up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes it so clicky and nasty, and I don't like it. But again, if you decide to join a group like that, let them shake your confidence. That's something that you have to work on. That's not their fault. So, anywho, back to Stony, right? So Stony, her daughter, and MJ, right? Stony is trying to get engaged MJ in some mess once again, right? So she was like, well, MJ, I heard that Sherelle and Ocho Cinco's relationship is more of an arrangement, right? And I told y'all, MJ ain't no motherfucking fool, right? MJ was like, can you elaborate a little more on that for me, please? Right, MJ. Right. So she was like, so Stoney was like, girl, it's just for the show of it, right? They look good as a unit type thing, which looks good for both of their brands, right? So MJ was like, okay, let me ask a question though. You really believe that? Because that sounds like kind of crazy. That sounds like so crazy of an accusation to make, right? So Stoney was like, well, that's what I heard. And like I said, MJ ain't no motherfucking fool. MJ said, okay, well, that's what you heard, right? Well, let me head on over there. I'm gonna go get Sherelle because that's my boss, right? And because Dorothy, you and Blanche, y'all want to wrestle for the Golden Girl spot, she was like, I don't have time for this shit. So let me go get Sherelle, and you and her can hash this shit out on your own and leave me out of it, right, MJ? Right, MJ. Right, MJ. Because like she said, you ain't gonna trip me up, Stoney, to say some bullshit. Now I'm on the outs. And meanwhile, I'm trying to continue to work for this girl agency and make the best of myself as a young girl. They don't want you, bitch, but they want me. You ain't get me kicked out. Get your own daughter kicked out, right? And MJ did the right thing. She kindly went over there and brought Sherelle over and was like, hi, this is my friend Toy. Da, da, da. So Stoney ain't have no choice but to be like, oh, Sherelle, can I talk to you in private, right? Let me take a sip of my drink because this part right here irritated the dog fuck out of me. So now when they go sit down and talk privately, Stoney proceeds to ask Sherelle about her and Chad's air quotes open door relationship, right? So Sherelle was sitting already. Sherelle was sitting on ready. Sherelle was sitting on ready, right? So she immediately said, well, what you say, bitch. Right? So Stony was like, I heard. And I said, I heard that. And let me bring it back to the group, to get the facts, aka bitch, which is something your ass should have did when you heard something about me instead of prejudging me, right? So Sherelle asked her, she was like, well, did you hear open arrangement or open relationship? Stony said arranged relationship because it's a PR, basically it's a PR stunt for the both of y'all brands because the rumor is he out here having threesomes. Sherelle, I could say this, right? I'm sorry, girlfriend, but maybe you should have left chat because everything about your response right here, Sherelle, everything about your response said, I don't know what this Negro been out here saying, and I don't know what this Negro been out here doing, and I don't want to confirm or deny any of these accusations. So let me go the safe route, which is inquiring why are you asking me this right here and right now while I'm trying to have a business event. You didn't seem too sure and too solid, like, bitch, this ain't no arranged nothing. That's my nigga, and I got this. You look like you was like, I don't know what this bitch know, so let me not talk too heavy about him and I be looking stupid. And that made you look sad. That right there made you look sad, right? So then Stony is crafty because she pulled the reverse Uno and used on Sherelle, what Sherelle used on her, which was, I'm trying to make sure the circle of women I decided to surround myself with is air quotes solid, right? Right, Stony. Let me remind you of what you said, right? Stony was trying to make a point of, remember when you were judging me? See, we're not that different, right? But Stony, let me just say this to you, right? Newsflash. I want to just say this to you, and this is the only reason why I don't feel like, even though you made valid points, you still would not be able to land the plane. No matter what you would have said in those moments, no matter what you say in the future, no matter what you say today, tomorrow, yesterday, or beforehand, Sherelle's gonna always view you as beneath her. I'm sorry. She's gonna always think that she's better than you because you what she sees you as is a woman who had nothing, and then you linked up with a rapper and got a little bit of something, and then you didn't even manage that little bit of something properly because then you came out with a sex tape, but then you sued a nigga for putting the sex tape out on you because you were so classless that the sex tape would be revealed. And now when you got a little bit of money from the sex tape that you did put out, you didn't make nothing of yourself. So for Sherelle, I know you want her to see you as somebody, but she views you as nothing because in her mind, you're not self-made. You're not self-made. You constantly had come-ups and you constantly fuck those come-ups up. This is just how I see Sherelle views you. So for her, you're pretty much like a peasant. So it don't matter what plan you would have been trying to make, trying to land, or what point you would have been trying to make. They don't matter to her because according to her, she's self-made and you're not. So according to her, you will always be nobody. So I do understand everything you was trying to say, and I do not disagree with the point you was trying to make in the plane you was trying to land. What I don't think that you understand is no matter how many points you would have made, they mean nothing to her. They mean nothing to her because according to her, you're beneath her. She's self-made. According to her, she's self-made. She served in the army. She has a flourishing and thriving real estate business that she built before she met Ocho Cinco. She pitched a reality show that's doing well. Like she feels like that girl. She's looking at you like, when were you ever that girl without someone else's help? So to her, you're pretty much nobody. And am I saying that's the right or wrong way to think? I can't say. My whole thing to you, Stony, is needing approval, needing validation from this woman is what irritates me because you make me feel like she look at you like, you nobody, and you also look at yourself the same. So getting validation from her would make you feel like somebody. Absolutely not, my dear. And that's not Sherelle's issue. That's yours. So this stunt you pulling right here, it was like, I guess. Right. So like I said, I just don't think, me personally, with all that being said about Sherelle and all her awards and accolades and everything that she's built for herself, it still makes me sad for Sherelle. And this is why these type of women don't intimidate me. They do not intimidate me. It makes me sad for her, right? Because I feel like, and this is my personal this is my personal opinion, that she's insecure and broken, right? And she has a lot of trauma from being cheated on and lied to and relying on men and allowing certain things. And because of that, you become a mean girl. So you now inflict that on other women. And I do get that you are self-made and you should be proud of yourself and stand 10 toes down. You went and got Ocho Cinco. Like, it's no way. But Stony, you also fall very, very easily under the thumb. You actually place yourself there because for whatever reason, you need validation from this woman. So y'all both need healing hearts, and I suggest y'all get so quickly because this whole situation between you and her, it was deeper than rap. It was deeper than what y'all was trying to make it seem like. But anywho, you could also tell that Sherelle was not confident in her relationship by the wrong choice she made in a man. Because instead of her being like, bitch, you heard some shit and you trying to pin it to me because you a hating ass bitch, me and my nigga good. You know what she said? Well, whatever's in the dark will come to the light. Sherelle, what type of response is that for me and you about to marry? Right? So I was just looking like, whoop, there it is. But okay, whatever, right? Um, and Stony, let me just say this: you're wasting your time trying to humble Sherelle. You can't. She won't be humbled by you, but Ocho will definitely humble her, and that's exactly what he did, right? Um, like I said, I really, really, really think that you should work on your self-esteem because the click judging you and all that, Stony, it meant too much to you. It meant too much to you. And it also meant too much to you from a bunch of bitches that you don't know. I was disappointed in you. And that shit lasted all 8 episodes. I don't know if you was doing it for the show or not, but in my opinion, it was too much bowing down and trying to be a part of. You don't know these bitches. Who cares what they think of you? Right. So another thing is too, right? If these were people that, like I said, if you just said I'm trying to work for the real estate agency with her, I didn't get why, you had so much patience and understanding and also ass kissing from people that you did not know. This was a level of patience that I mean was not needed. But anywho, whatever. So according to Sherelle, she had nothing to do with casting. She didn't control your position on the show. So my whole thing was like, why Stoney wasn't in fucking bitches? You made something happen on your own. You will continue making things happen. What did you need to fit inside that clique for? But either way, between y'all two, that shit was deep. That shit was deeper than all of that other shit, that all of those smoke and mirrors that y'all was trying to make it about. It wasn't about that. Woman to woman, it was about insecurities. It was about validation. It was about self-esteem. And those are things that you need to work on before you get into any clique, join any circle, against any relationship. And I hope and pray that both of y'all ladies would have came and got y'all healing heart session, because then y'all would have been able to work through those things in order to work effectively in those circles, whether that's a romantic relationship, friendships, or cliques, even in working relationships. In any event, this show was all right. This show was all right. This show was all right. This was the last episode. Let's see what I have to say about the women as a whole. Sherelle, when it initially started, I hated you 80%. When it went off, I probably hated you 60. I probably say I didn't like Ashley the most. I didn't like Ashley the most because, like I said, I watched Sherelle and Ashley on Tyrone B. That's another personality, and I watched him interview the both of you, and I seen actually you more so try to escape the mean girl accusations when you totally showed up. I'm gonna be honest, more of a mean girl than Sherelle. So Ashley, I probably disliked you the most. Portia, you might be right under Ashley because you thought your ass was slick, but I peeped you, right? And you're also a mean girl. You just know how to say things nice, and you know the appropriate ways to say them, but you're also a mean girl. I liked Alexis. I genuinely liked Alexis. I felt like she was genuine. I would like to see her and Jonathan relationship push forward. Like I said with MJ is young. MJ is young and she's growing through some things with a man who she has children with that's in the entertainment business with a whole lot of fucking money. That's hard. So my heart and my prayer goes out to MJ, and I hope sooner than later she gets it together. Jules, I think that you need to go hang out with white people because those are people that you like. Those antics and those behaviors, that's what you're into. That's what you're into. So instead of trying to infiltrate a African American community or circle, just go on and hang with the white people because that's what you enjoy. We're not mad about that. Everybody do what they do, right? Sade, you was one of my favorites. Congratulations. I saw on your Instagram that you and Chosen had your baby. I pray the marriage is coming soon, and I'm so happy for you. Keita, I could give or take you. My thing with you was I thought you was nice. I love your business acumen, but I don't know if you were really a nice girl. I don't know. You give me like you kind of pinky in the air, nose up in the air, look down on people, but you didn't have enough on air time to really show that. So in any event, we'll see how that goes. But I hope you also had the baby and is safe and healthy. And congratulations to you and Tyreek. And I love your mom, Alicia. Who else was there? It was Stony. Stony, you give me, you could be one of my homegirls in my building. Like, you give me, you could be one of my homegirls in my building, but I wouldn't necessarily connect to you because you know what I think, Stony? I think that you are nice and you are sweet, but I also think that you can carry a certain air about you. And I feel like you thought these women were above you, so that air wasn't present towards them. But I would love to see you around women who you think you're better than, because I think you will become Sherelle of that group, depending on how you feel about those women. So it would be more so that, you think you're better than. And I don't know, I could be wrong, but I would need to see how you act around women who are not. I would like to see you on Basketball Wives. I would like to see you on Basketball Wives with women that you kind of feel like are on the same playing field or could get in the mud with you. I would like to see because I think you would be the same kind of judgmental uppity bitch that Sherelle was. I'm sorry, Stony, but you get me that. Who else was there? That was pretty much everybody. That was pretty much everybody. I enjoyed the season. I enjoyed the show. I will continue to tune in if there is another season. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you appreciated my review. Like I said, it's my birthday. Drop me some change. Feel free to do so. There's my Cash App on the screen. You can leave me a super chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. I truly, truly appreciate you guys. Enjoy your night.